You open up your email, and you're greeted to this message from the official Discord support team, pretty much saying, hey guys, you remember how we asked for age verification, and how we needed your ID or face scanning to be able to know if you're an adult or a kid or not? Well, funny thing is we kind of doxed you. Your IP address is now leaked out. The last 4 digits of your credit card has been leaked. Messages and attachments that you might have sent to customer support or the trust and safety team has been completely exposed. You remember how all these governments and we and a bunch of other companies pretty much said we would reassure you that nothing bad would happen to any of your sensitive information, your government information, your ID or anything. It's completely safe. There's nothing wrong. The United Kingdom government, the EU and Australia and all these other different countries, they made sure to reassure continuously that this is about protecting children, this is about protecting people online, there is no way this is dangerous whatsoever. Obviously sarcasm. I don't think I need to put the sarcasm any thicker on right now, but let's get back into the main meat. Pretty much, as I talked about in so many others, what we all thought would happen actually happened. Everyone that apparently has a Discord account that apparently was contacting the customer support and trust and safety team, people that were, you know, giving over the information to them, contacting them recently or whatever, opening up tickets or whatever, their information has been compromised. Now, Discord does outline that it was a third-party customer service system that is the main root cause of why Discord is compromised, but it does not change the fact that Discord was using this third-party system with all of your sensitive information, and this sensitive information has now been leaked. And this opens up the entire door, or Pandora's box, so to speak, that I already mentioned. That all these different sites, all these official companies and stuff, these governments, they are forcing all these different websites, all these different companies to force age verification in some shape or form, either through ID or face recognition or credit card, debit card, whatever.
And doing all this shit, and these governments can't even get their own shit together. They can't even keep the data of their own citizens secure. It's all for sale to the highest bidder, and that's why I never scanned my face for Discord. Yeah, it's those who did not scan their face for Discord, I'm sure you're all very glad that you didn't do that, or if you did scan a face, it was a fake one, because there was ways around that sort of thing. Because a lot of people knew it, and they called it. Shit like this was going to happen.
And what this will do is they're going to have their own third-party processing system, most likely verifying if you're actually legitimate or not. And what this basically means is that some companies are going to invest in security, proper security, and some won't. And when you have stuff like this even happening with Discord, what do you think is going to happen to smaller term websites? Websites that make nowhere near the same amount of money as Discord. So already we are just seeing the absolute disaster of forced ID and age verification of the internet. I've already talked about this months ago, but I was right, and I think, I mean, this was an obvious outcome. Anyone that has necessarily been on the internet knows that, like, if you have a functioning brain, knows this was going to happen. But here we are. So we need to talk about what was not fully compromised. The incident did not include full credit card numbers or CCV codes, your physical...
I suppose that's one consolation. Full credit card numbers didn't get out. But then again, all you need is some breadcrumbs, and someone can eventually figure it out.
Physical address, your messages or activity on Discord beyond what you may have discussed with customer support or trust and safety agents, and your Discord password or authentication data.
And that's assuming that they're telling us the truth about this. They could be lying. They could be lying about all of this, and it could be a lot worse than what they're letting on. So, something else to keep in mind. If having age verification beyond account creation isn't already stupid enough, proceeds to hire third-party AI tech programs. Yeah, it just, the fuck-ups just keep compounding one on top of another, and it's all just a disaster. An absolute, unmitigated disaster.
First of all, full credit card numbers or CCV codes. Pretty much it's saying your full card that you entered in on Discord has not been leaked. However, they do outline in the first, message of this that yes, the last 4 digits of your credit card has been exposed, but not the full card. However, it's still bad. The physical address. Now, they say that your physical address, so for instance, if you have a physical address or whatever, you know, that you've attached on Discord somehow, shape, or form, it has not been leaked. But I do want to point out that in the stuff that has been leaked and compromised is messages and attachments sent to our customer support or trust and safety agents. This is a big one, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand this, because they're thinking, oh, my physical address is fine. No, it's not. Why is there a trust and safety agents? Why is there customer support? Well, to either get your account back, maybe to verify you know, if your account is legitimate, or if you've been hacked, you want to get it back, all this different type of stuff. There can be a lot of sensitive information in these support tickets, or you talking to trust and safety agents. And especially within the last 2.5 to 3 months with the introduction of age verification, face scanning, and forced ID to be able to determine if you are an adult or not, obviously, you're probably going to have conversations with support staff. You're going to have tickets, you're going to probably have conversations with the trust and safety agents, and most likely a lot of crucial details, depending on what country you live in, for instance, like UK, for instance, or eventually Australia or EU, your information, and potentially even maybe your physical address, was compromised, if you did talk about it in the messages and attachments. So, this more or less is kind of like it's a half-truth, half-lie here that your physical address was not leaked.
I knew it.
Because depending on your messages with the staff to probably verify yourself, you probably doxed yourself. Now, another thing is your Discord password or authentication data was not leaked. Well, that's good, but I'm going to be honest with you, if you're getting compromised like this, I think that you should just change your password regardless. I think it's just,
yes.
Routine.
Usual precautions, chat. Change your passwords. Whatever you have to do to keep yourself safe, please.
Common sense internet safety to basically change your password, especially when there is a leak or a compromised company at this point. The other thing is your messages or activity on Discord beyond what you may have discussed with customer support, trust, and safety agents. So pretty much if you have private DMs with someone, or you're talking in servers, I'm assuming that was not leaked. That activity and stuff has not been leaked whatsoever. But let's get into the main point here. This is really bad. Because even if this isn't as bad like nuclear scenario, the worst it possibly could be, this is still a glimpse of the danger of this forced ID and age verification that's being put online, which is relevant to the next topic I'm going to discuss. So let's get into that one. Now, this is an ongoing petition in the UK right now, and do not mistake in this petition for the one that happened about 2.5 to 3 months ago. This is a completely different one that was established about a week or so ago, and pretty much there was an announcement from the Prime Minister.
They only got 100. They were only wanting 100,000 signatures at minimum. They got nearly 3 million, and the government responded with, "Fuck you, we're going to do this anyway."
Of the UK, saying that there will now be an introduction of digital ID. More or less what digital ID would do would force everybody to verify themselves online to be able to access the internet, to get a job and all that. More or less it's restriction, control, and oppressing people. And the real reason why the Prime Minister of the UK was trying to push this, and is still trying to push it, is because apparently it will combat the immigration problem. When everybody instantly saw through the lies, because it's like, if you are
Francis Parker Yockey called all this before Orwell did in 1948. He casually predicted the EU, its mud GDP operations, and its censorship and identification enforcement. Yeah, the more you try and bring disparate groups like this together, the more problems you're going to have, and the more draconian measures will have to be imposed top-down in order to maintain order. There's really only two types of societies that you can have in this world. You can have a country with a distinctly majority population, an ethno-state, if you will, but most everything is pretty safe and free, and there's not really need for a whole lot of laws and regulations. You know, most people know what the rules are, they know where the boundaries are, and they obey. And then you have the Singaporean model, which brings a lot of diverse groups together and has to keep those numbers under strict control and keep the people under strict control and keep them in a police state with incredibly harsh punishments for even something as simple as spitting on the street or, spitting out gum on the street, to where basically you're publicly flogged for something like that. Because they know that these disparate groups, someone's going to try and fuck everything up for everyone else. Hence the harsh measures. Hence the police state. Hence all the surveillance. If you wanted to know his book, which he predicted this specifically, it's Imperium 1948. Ooh, I wonder if there's an audiobook of that. I'd like to listen to it.
Or someone that is a migrant that got into UK and you're not an actual citizen, you're not going to have an ID to begin with, and you have no reason to get a digital ID because you're already there illegally, so it's like, it doesn't really matter. So
Yeah.
the digital ID is not going to help anyone. It's more or less going to oppress and restrict the main citizens of the country. And so within about a day, about
As they
24
do.
hours when this petition was posted, these signatures went up to about 1.5 million, about 1,500,000 signatures within literally a day. And it's been about a week since this petition happened, and as you can see, it reached almost 3 million signatures. And about another day ago, the government of UK finally responded. And to clarify, it says it right here, that if the petition, these official petitions, reach about 100,000 signatures, the government will be forced to respond. That is what Parliament has to do. And as you can see, it well met that requirement. It went way beyond the requirement. With almost 3 million signatures, you can tell there is a lot of unhappy citizens in the UK. And so this was the government response, the official government response to stopping age verification in digital ID online. We will introduce a digital ID within this parliament to help tackle illegal migration, make accessing government services easier, and enable wider efficiencies. We will...
It's literal fucking mark of the beast.
Consult on details soon. So, to kind of summarize this in easier ways to understand, the government's like, we heard you, we know you're upset, but we don't care. We're going to implement digital ID. I think at this point,
fuck you, we're doing it
really
anyway.
Consider the UK a democracy. I don't think you can. It is definitely not a democratic, country anymore. The fact that they actively are ignoring the population and what they're saying, because this is not a small amount of people. Almost 3 million signatures is insane. And I want to put this in perspective. This is just the people that are aware of this petition. Because there's a lot of people that are completely unaware of,
they have no fucking clue.
The petition, and they would probably sign it if they were aware of it. And the fact that the government is actively ignoring their citizens and focusing on, arresting people for memes and stuff in their country is absolutely insane.
Not if you realize that the government hates its own native population and wants it dead and replaced with a new underclass. When you realize that, it all starts to make sense. And it says something when all the people, Corbyn, one of all people, Corbyn, and that Indian commie who scammed all the people who joined a new party but against digital ID. That's assuming that they would even sign on to digital ID anyway. It sounds like the sort of people who would support Corbyn and the Indian commie probably aren't even in the country legally anyway.
I feel for the citizens of the UK. I really do. Because I could not imagine having a government that actively is this just on the nose about being a dictatorship at this point. Because they don't care. They legitimately... They pretty much said, we hear ya, we don't care. That is just the most disrespectful thing. Especially to say that to almost 3 million people.
They've done it before, though.
To make a long story short, I was right. I mean, I've already talked about this in the past, about how all this stuff would just lead to more control, restriction, censorship, and all the above and all that, and that's exactly what's happening, and it's just going to keep getting worse, and the sad thing is that Australia is soon to follow. I've already talked about this, but if you think this is bad, Australia has the exact same thing coming into place this December, and it's already passed, so there's no canceling that. So if you live in Australia, get ready for that one. And also, if you live in the EU, you have similar stuff already happening too. And it looks like it's going to pass as well. So get ready for that one too. So, yeah, that's not including other countries. I mean, obviously, the United States has some stuff going on too with different states. So, yeah, we're just as screwed as well. But this year, man, it is just... I never expected 2025 to be like this. It is such a crazy year with just how many countries and companies have just gotten together to really just tighten a rope around the internet, to really restrict it to the point where you can't be anonymous anymore and have privacy. They really want to completely remove that. It's insanity. But they
want to know everything about everyone. They want to track us all so that they can control us. and so that their globalist big business constituents can push product to us. This is all to enslave us and to extract wealth and resources from us. I don't think we've ever seen this type of tyranny before. They don't even need to disband the parties because there's no point. Government is full power, yet there's fire on the street. Yeah, true and real.
Though, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe, leave a like as well, helps with the video. Leave a comment, helps with the algorithm too. Chibi out.
Alright. Chibi reviews. Latest from him.